Good morning, everybody. Sorry to bring you out here on a wet day. I know some people got pretty soaked coming in. We're here today, and I'm here with Bucks County District Attorney Jen Shorn, Chester County District Attorney Chris Deeps Barena-Sorobe, which, call him DA with three names on thing, and Lieutenant Joshua Lacey, Criminal Investigations Section of Troop J. And we're here to talk to you about a real problem in our communities, and I want to begin with saying some thanks here. I am very, very blessed to work with wonderful colleagues and our DA's association. Yesterday, was with our Attorney General and Jack Stolzheimer from Delaware County. Today, get to be with the Bucks County District Attorney Jen Shorn and our Chester County DA, and these are just such great partners for us, and the working relationships that we all have and the collaboration is nonstop. And I said it yesterday, but one team. The other thanks that I want to get out here up front, there's a number of people that came in for jury duty. And they came in, and 23 of them were selected as grand jurors. And so when you think about jury duty, folks come in and maybe spend, a couple days, maybe spend a week with us on, a lengthier trial. These folks are spending 18 months, and they are working hard. They're coming in once a week. And what they did here and what we're going to present on was just yeoman's work in an area that really needed attention. And I can't say enough about their dedication, their input, and what we get to present on here today. So, normally when we're doing a press conference, we're talking about sharing some news related to arrest or something that's in the public interest that we have to pay attention to. And so today it's the latter. So for the second time in my tenure as DA of Montgomery County, we have issued a report that has come out of our grand jury. I grabbed the last one that we had done, which was 2017, talking about the opioid epidemic. And I know everybody is very in tune with what is going on there. So today, we're talking about another real problem in our community, and a real problem because it's affecting too many children in our community. It's a call to action, a buyer beware warning regarding smoke shops in Montgomery County, Bucks County, Chester County, beyond, throughout Pennsylvania here. Current state of affairs regarding Pennsylvania's 2018 Farm Bill had an unintended consequence, which was the proliferation of smoke shops that pop up literally everywhere. And frankly, they're unregulated, they're unsafe, and they're selling illegal products without oversight and without concern for the health of Pennsylvanians, especially without regard for the health of our children. I'm sure it would shock you to know that unlike alcohol and tobacco, there are no state laws on restrictions on selling any of the products in these smoke shops to anyone of any age, meaning children have full access to all of the products in these smoke shops, as well as the same products in gas stations and convenience stores. Frankly, when we began looking at this and got into that shocked even me. And that was just one of the numerous facts that emerged during a 10-month grand jury report that came from it, and an investigation by these folks. Start on January 29th of 2025 and continued to yesterday when this was issued, and the grand jury judge signed off on it, allowing us to make it public. So the grand jury in this case heard from a lot of different individuals, and that's outlined in the report. You know, I know it's long. I really ask you to spend some time and look into it. But we talked to physicians, we talked to psychiatrists, talked to toxicologists, we talked to smoke shop owners and their employees, and numerous narcotics enforcement officers and state police, you know, from Montgomery, Bucks, and Chester County. So, you know, this is a all hands on deck report that came from them. So, the other thing I'll say in this, and I'll get into that. The detectives that investigated this and worked on this, you know, they know what drug dealers do. They know the landscape, and they found these smoke shops were using very similar lingo to what's being said out on the streets. You know, that it's the same lingo, the same packaging, the main marketing pitches of drug dealers. And what we found in a lot of them is they're selling straight up marijuana. You know, this is straight up marijuana that is being sold. Some thinly veiling the fact that their stores and others are using the fact that it's marijuana to sell more product here. So the grand jurors heard testimony by narcotics enforcement detectives regarding the undercover smoke shop purchases of multiple products from numerous stores. So this is prevalent in Chester County. This is prevalent in Bucks County. I'll give some numbers here in Montgomery County. You know, we bought from these stores, all right? You know, go in, make a purchase like every other, you know, person that's coming down the street could do, including children. And of those 144 products that we bought, primarily loose flower and THC vapes, we sent it to the laboratory. And, you know, and we're not the first to do this, but National Medical Services and Pennsylvania State Police did the lab testing on this. And the results of it were astounding. When we went through this, the results, 93.75%. So 135 of the products that we bought in these shops were not, you know, Farm Bill compliant or some of the other things that they're labeling on. They were straight out marijuana. Like these are being sold in these stores and under different labels and changing them and doing this. So, you know, these are products that were bought. Now, when we bought them, and 93.75% were marijuana above the THC levels of 5.0 or higher, and the legal limit on this is a 0.3%. So, of those five, I'm beating you to your question if anybody's doing math, of the remaining 9 products that were tested, 4 were found to be in the legal limit for Delta 9 THC, but were actually another product, Delta 8 THC, and 4 of the products in that contain no detectable levels of THC. So despite them saying that you're going to be getting under this 0.3 level, there was none in it. So of the products that were bought in this, when I say, you know, unregulated and just out there, you know, not selling what they are claiming they are selling here. So the results make it clear that these smoke shops are acting as our neighborhood marijuana dealers. And there's a lot of smoke shops. In Montgomery County alone, we have 240. And that is seemingly in every corner. Pass by them, you know, driving to work and driving home from work. And, you know, we did some math on that, and that translates to one of these smoke shops for every one of 3,662 residents. So one shop for every 2 square miles, right? That's a lot of smoke shops in our community here in Montgomery County, and I know, unfortunately, Chester County and Bucks County is dealing with the same thing. So the grand jurors also heard numerous childline reports by mandated reporters in which these cases were either school or hospital personnel were treated for drug hospitalizations in children due to their ingestion of THC through unregulated products. So these are outlined in the grand jury report, but there's a 14-year-old who consumed a crispy rice treat that purchased at a smoke shop herself, became panicked, exhibited signs of intoxication, began vomiting, to a 9-year-old child who ate his grandparents' THC-infused chocolate and started experiencing hallucinations and vomiting and had to be taken by ambulance to the hospital, to the 21-month-old toddler who ate his parents' THC gummies found in a drawer, became lethargic, unable to stand, quite ill. There are many more harrowing incidents recorded in the grand jury report which reinforce the testimony of experts that testified of the very different effects that THC have on children and how dangerous it can be when children get a hold of these products. So what do we do about it? The grand jury, in the great work that they did, took a look at the reality of these smoke shops and came up with 8 recommendations. And I'll go through them. All right, so number 1 was protecting children. And this is establishing age requirements of 21 to purchase THC products of all types, requiring electronic scanning to safeguard children, regulate how THC products can be marketed, prohibit the use of packaging, flavors, advertising strategies to target children or resemble snack foods. This is some of the product that is out there and that we found in these stores. Take a look at it. You know, if that's not being marketed to kids, I don't know what is. And you look at, you got Cheetos with marijuana leaves on it, and Nerds and other types of candies. Again, certainly targeted to kids in their marketing. So next that we go to the legislative action needed, and this is an urgent call on the legislature to fix the Farm Bill, to clearly state that products containing Delta 8 and 10 are subject to the same restrictions as marijuana itself. Establish regulations on dosage, which we heard a lot about from the experts, standardized serving size and potency along with comprehensive labeling of these products. And the report noted that most states limit the single serving of THC products to 10 milligrams and packages to 100 milligrams. Not happening in Pennsylvania right now. Requiring unmistakable markings on all THC edibles to differentiate them to help curb accidental consumption, implement robust warning labels on THC product packaging, providing clear guidance to the safe usage and dosage and serving size before one feels the onset of effects. So what's that mean? We heard from multiple people, somebody takes a gummy and doesn't have any impact from it right away. So they take another one, and then they get sick because the onset of this takes time. And so those are the issues that need to be given to our consumers so that they know what they're doing. Regulating smoke shops. Create a statewide licensing system, just as Pennsylvania requires licensing for sale of tobacco and alcohol, which would allow for regular oversight, limit the number of smoke shops within defined geographical areas, and establish a mechanism for holding store owners accountable. Require training for store owners and employees regarding product safety, legal responsibilities, age verification protocols. Routine inspections of them and enforcement conducted by regulatory agencies. Their next, 4, was ensuring product safety. And this is a big one. When we talked about what we saw in the testing that came about, There needs to be regular mandatory testing of THC levels and contaminants for all these products sold in smoke shops by accredited labs. What we saw was lab reports that are being held up that don't have anything to do with the product that they are selling. It's being doctored or calling the laboratory and saying, hey, did you issue this report? Yeah, but it had nothing to do with that product. So this going on in our areas. So creating a centralized information system for retail oversight that includes a list of certified testing labs, the results of testing, and a list of violating distributors and their products. The next one, and this is part of our task here. I know there's been attention on this, but grand jury did a report, and so I hope through all of you there will be some public education and awareness that comes from this, and we need a campaign about the risks of the unregulated THC products. So raising awareness about the health risks of marijuana, raising awareness about legal status and synthetic THC products in Pennsylvania, publicizing health risks associated with untesting, mislabeled products such as mental health effects, addiction potential, exposure to harmful substances such as lead and mold. Raising awareness about marketing tactics used to target our youth and importance, and educating the public about the difference between regulated medical marijuana and unregulated retail products. 6, investigation and criminal penalties for distributors selling illegal marijuana. And that's on us. Direct enforcement of those distributors who are knowingly violating Pennsylvania law by illegally selling straight-up marijuana from smoke shops, gas stations, and convenience stores outside the boundaries of Pennsylvania law. Our enforcement must be consistent and visible throughout the state. And I will tell you, and I think this will be reiterated, people have been arrested, and more people will get arrested if they continue on this track. Pitfalls to avoid, 7. They recommend that we don't overtax the THC products, which could lead consumers to purchase from street dealers. We've seen this in a lot of other states where people are going to the black market to get their marijuana, even instead of the medical marijuana shops. Adequately funding law enforcement, and this is a big one, with dedicated resources to ensure public safety and the resources to enforce new laws. And 8th, legislation to help with civil liability laws that are out there, and holding the sellers accountable when somebody is harmed by a product and mislabeled, untested, or deceptively marketed. And look, we have some tools that we can use in this realm with consumer protection. And, again, stay tuned. So those are the recommendations by the grand jury. They're comprehensive, and there's much more information in the report than I could outline for you here today. But a quick snapshot to give you a good summary of the ideas that the grand jury found to be necessary in order to protect the public and provide some much-needed oversight to the current dangerousness surrounding the smoke shops. I want to turn it now over to my colleagues to talk about it from their perspective here. And again, I'm just so pleased to have the partners that I do. We all work very, very closely together, and there is not too many weeks that go by where we don't have several conversations or working on things together. So, Jen, why don't you go?
Thank you, DA Steele. The proliferation of these unregulated smoke shops present a clear public health and safety threat to our communities. And I can't thank DA Steele enough and the Montgomery County District Attorney Office's detectives and their prosecutors, and especially the grand jurors that served in Montgomery County. We need that type of collaboration to identify individuals who are clearly operating openly in dealing with illegal substances, like the owners and operators of these shops. And it would not happen without the work that the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office did in this endeavor. And it's such a privilege to be able to collaborate with our partners in Montgomery County, Chester County, and within the state on initiatives like this, because together, not only are we stronger, but our reach goes much further. And so for that, I should say that criminals should be concerned. Anybody engaging in criminal activity should be concerned because of our collaboration and these initiatives that we join together. And also, again, I mean, could there be any more worthy cause protecting our children? All of us as parents know that we need explicit permission for a school nurse to give Tylenol to our children, but our children can go into these shops and literally purchase and ingest an illegal substance with grave consequences, and we have to do better. So I'm proud to work with DA Steele, with DA sorry, Chris, and with all of our partners in this endeavor.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris DeBarena-Sorobe. Look, I share the pride to work with my fellow district attorneys on this issue, and I in particular want to thank Lieutenant Lacey and his team with the Pennsylvania State Police for their efforts in Chester County. We came together because we learned that teens were being hospitalized in Chester County based on these sort of substances being ingested out of smoke shops, convenience stores, gas stations in our area. And it was flagrant, absolutely flagrant. And so when we came together and we thought about what to do, we started to target a small group of stores, and eventually it just started to grow. So last month, we executed search warrants at 16 different stores in Chester County. We actually looped in three other stores from other counties as well as part of our investigation. We've made arrests. We've issued dozens of other search warrants. We've seized over $500,000 collectively from these various different smoke shops, either via cash or through bank account proceeds. And we're doing everything we can to stop it in its tracks right now. But this short-term success that we've cultivated is going to be worthless if we don't get the help that's been outlined in this grand jury report from the legislature. It's not sustainable for us to keep coming back and back and back to every smoke shop in all of our counties. But what our children need is barriers for them to go into stores and buy this. Our families absolutely deserve basic safeguards. Our children deserve it, and we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can. We're going to do it on the law enforcement side. I have all the faith in that. We've been working together on this project for months. But it's time for the legislature to step up too.
All right. So we're giving you a lot here, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. Grand jury report is posted to our website, so anyone in any of our counties can go to that, access it, read it for themselves. On the current state of the unregulated, unsafe, and illegal smoke shops in Pennsylvania. So in closing, I think I speak for all three of us as well as other DAs across the state. We need the Pennsylvania legislature to move forward. There's some pending legislation, and that's a start. But we need help. We need help resolving these issues that are identified in the report. We need them to take action. We need a legislative fix of the Farm Bill, clarifying Delta 8 and Delta 10 are classified as marijuana under the law. We need legislation to establish a structure and mechanism for oversight of these smoke shops, including licensing requirements for stores, just like tobacco and alcohol. We need a law that establishes age requirements for purchase. There's a lot out there on the effects to children of these products, and that's why it should be 21. It's 21 for alcohol, tobacco. That's the standard on this, and that's what needs to be done here. And we need real action. Require real timely testing and batch testing of this, so you know what you're getting, and you know what you're getting when you see those products that are out there. It's we go to the supermarket and there's ingredients of what we're getting, and there's amounts, and there's how much sugar there is going to be in a product. You need that on these substances to know what you are taking, to be smart of that, to make informed choices. And of course, there's more. But the overarching message on this is one of urgency. Get it done now. Don't wait. Move forward quickly, deliberately on these strategies that cross all the political fault lines in order to regulate this industry. There are some responsible stores out there. Let me say that, and some of them came forward and testified in this report. But unfortunately, the majority of what we looked at needed to have a spotlight and a harsh spotlight on them. And we hope that it'll make a difference in getting these dangerous and illegal substances off the shelves.